少卿宁静，几人兵器交于一处，宣誓上报国家，下安黎庶。公元190年，汉室危在旦夕，内有奸宦贪墨成风，外有董卓欺主罔上。四海本是一片安宁，如今却是烽烟四起。奈何天子暗弱，屡受权臣董卓威压。乱军四起，权臣威风，皇权旁落，真可谓四海煎熬。虽然他们营区已腐，合兵一处，但这种脆弱的联盟必定不会长久。
Alright, well, welcome to my Let's Play of this Total War 3 Kingdoms game. It's a new one that I have, or it's on the new side, and I want to share it with you, especially Keith, Trevor, Jeffrey, and Tom. Get it out to the family and see how you like my new game that I'm playing here. We have several different choices as far as who we can choose to play the game. I'm going to choose Sun Jian, but there's quite a few different to choose from, both coalition members, governors, outlaws, and the yellow turbans. But we're going to start this with the Sun Jian playthrough. His strength or unique ability is heroism. Depending on who you play, you may have other things. Cao Cao has credibility as his unique feature. Yuan Shu, legitimacy, is the name of his unique feature, and they use these in different ways to help them through their playthrough.
忠于内心，而非忠于王侯。
And here is Sun Jian. He starts in the south. He's the southernmost start of all the playthroughs that I've seen. As far as our options, we're going to play him very hard. Very hard. And, yeah, no advisor. Our time of day, you may notice during the gameplay, the day will change from day to afternoon to night to morning. You know how it works. So I just like the graphics on that. We're going to be playing in romance mode. The game has two different types of modes you can play in. Romance mode, which is the more romanticized version of the historical time period, or the records mode, which is more the traditional style of Total War games. But we're going to keep with the romance mode because it's fun with the extra character focus, I do believe. Our specialization, as I've mentioned, is heroism. As we increase our heroism, it decreases our unit recruitment and upkeep costs, increases satisfaction of my characters, and heroism is gained from inflicting more casualties than the enemy. So even in outnumbered battles, it's possible to gain some nice heroism. Our noteworthy characters are basically our children. Sun Ce, Sun Quan, and Sun Ren all start below the age that I can use them, but as they come of age, we'll start seeing how they can impact our playthrough. My unique building is a mercenary outpost, so I, unlike some of these other characters I could have played, have access to the mercenary. Some mercenary units, individually, I'll have access to them early on. Once I build the mercenary outpost, I will then have access to my mercenary captains, where I can hire whole retinues. While very expensive, it's a quick way to get an army built up without the normal mustering time that happens in the real game. Sun Jian, also known as the Tiger of Jiandong. A couple other little specialties he has is plus 25 campaign movement range when starting in friendly sea regions, and plus 10% morale when attacking. So let's get into the game. I'm going to have you listen through a little background history before we start. The game is going to be ready to load before we get through it, but since you may not be familiar with the time frame, I'll have you look at that. And it's obviously much easier to read on a TV if you run the video on a larger screen format than a little handheld device. So here we go. I'm running also on the 1.1.0 beta version of the game right now.
火尽灰飞，点亮夜色。董卓权倾朝野，奸浊世间。洛阳一片火海，诛灭燕患后，朝野混乱。汉室起于鸡心之上，但是英勇之人仍心怀希望，敢与之相抗。孙坚、孙文台背负着孙氏家族的荣耀，贼臣定将在猛虎面前魂飞魄散。天下混乱不已，大汉王朝早已被腐败吞噬。黄巾众人跨州联军，高举大旗。忠于汉地的将军们立即作出回应，出兵镇压黄巾军。虽获全胜，乱局如故。天下之祸乃在其心。忠臣良将们杀进宫中，斩杀十常侍，清除天下祸源。混乱之中，董卓控制了皇帝，猛将吕布常在其左右，天下无人敢与其为敌。董卓厚颜无耻，更有甚者直呼其为董贼。袁绍率诸侯组成联军，意欲讨伐董卓，存救天下。面对联军讨伐，董卓西撤，回到长安务保，顺便将都城洛阳夷为平地。初平元年，公元190年，关东联军破灭，四方诸侯各寻时机，在大乱中渔利。四海黄金余波未平，仍在祈求皇天之事，伺机而动。如今可谓大势已变，天下正值危急存亡之秋。
Okay, so we're going to move on to a little farther part of the story as it gets to the map screen. You'll notice I kept it in the native Chinese language. I prefer the flavor it gives the game. So let's get moving on.
主公，如今洛阳焚荡，庐舍丘墟。
我誓要手刃董贼，为民除害。
董卓劫迁天子而去，此贼欲倾汉家天下，来与我军抗衡。
那就放马过来，论打仗，我还没怕过谁。
主公勇烈过人，在下佩服，但若想取胜，还望主公谨慎。
有道理，袁术可以为援。此人与其兄袁绍有隙，奈何时值乱世，我当连结世间英豪。孙子曰：“故善战者，能为不可胜。”我可不能错失良机。
主公，江东之虎必将再笑山林，天下风云必将为之变色。
Okay, and now we get to start the game and see what we're working with here. We're on the overall campaign map, and then when we go to battle, we'll switch over to the battle mode. But let's start with establishing your power. Lord Sun Jian, you are far from home. It is time you return south. The coalition is finished, and the tyrant's wrath will soon be felt. So only from a strong position in the Southlands can you hope to weather the coming storm, then expand your influence. You must be wary. Liu Biao is aging but crafty, untrustworthy and all too close, whilst Yuan Shu is ambitious, but potentially useful. Let none stand in the way of your ambition. And we have our first mission issued. Early on in the game, there tends to be a lot of little missions that are issued, kind of a way to teach you a few different things that you need to learn to be able to play the game. The first one is obviously how to conduct a battle. And there will be others that teach different functions of the game early on. So this mission, with enemies encroaching, Sun Jian draws his blade. You have scored a great victory against the tyrant, whilst the rest of the coalition languished. They are all but done now, yet your destiny is just beginning. There is a long way between you and your homeland, and enemies bar the way. Cut them down. So we got little Quan Ru here in front of me, and we need to make him disappear, and we'll get a taste of victory that way. A minor little bonus if we accomplish that, plus 30 military supplies and plus 5 morale faction wide for 3 whopping turns. And we also have the Jade Seal, something that always appears in the Sun Jian playthrough. Whilst moving through the land, something draws you to an old well. You peer over the edge and see a faint glint from the bottom. As you pull the rope up, a familiar shape rises out of the darkness. It is a beautiful seal of jade. It is the seal of the Emperor. So I have an ancillary available, and before we get into battle, we're going to take a look at those ancillaries and see how we can assign them out. And every start of every game, there's a different mix. In fact, this is even a bigger mix than I'm used to getting of ancillary. Maybe they aren't that good. Maybe that's why I have more, but we'll find out as we assign these different things to our nobles and our generals and everything else. So here we have Sun Jian. As we look at him, we see that his strength that makes him a legendary character is expertise. Yes. And you'll see his name in gold. So starting out over here, we have Sun Jian and Cheng Pu, which are considered legendary characters. Anytime one of these aspects of your character are over 100, sitting at 121 expertise, you get the legendary gold designation for that character. And the higher the score in these categories, the higher the abilities you get. So this strength for me is plus 40 melee evasion. Since I won't be using him probably to administer a commandery, probably won't get the benefit of those construction costs. As far as his resolve, average, plus 15% to my general's health, and population growth if I ever administer a commandery. His cunning also but he does have some archers in his retinue down here, so they'll have the benefit of plus 9 ammunition and plus 2 military supplies for his own army, which he is the general, and it is possible in the army. The character at the front of this army, and you can have up to 3 characters per army. The one leading off is considered the general and in charge of that army. Instinct, a better score than some of these others, gives me plus 16 melee damage and negative recruitment cost of 5% for this army. And my authority, which is okay-ish also, I get plus 3 satisfaction faction-wide because I am the faction leader. And I also get plus 7 unit morale for my own retinue of 6 units down here. So I think these unique units for Sun Jian are the best he can equip right now. I don't think any mount is going to end up being any better than the one he has. So we'll see if any of the ancillaries down here, well, it's by default, he's going to get the Jade Seal. It gives him plus 10 authority, adds 25 to the faction-wide prestige, 8 satisfaction faction-wide, and you'll see what some of these different things impact or how they matter as we get into the game. And plus 6 morale when defending, and I am the faction leader, so that will also apply faction-wide. We have Huang Gai, who is not legendary at this point, but he's close enough in resolve. I think we might be able to get him there if I recall. As a matter of fact, his starting weapon, 177 melee damage, 708 armor piercing melee damage. We can kind of increase those numbers here. We'll lower the expertise a tiny bit, but that's a good resolve weapon. So let's do that and look at, he's got the golden resolve, so he'll become legendary, showing as a legendary character next turn also. We also have a clay pig, which would increase authority and his satisfaction, but right now that's not a great, it doesn't really do anything for him, and he's gonna, his satisfaction meter, which we have down here, they're all kind of, yeah, they're gonna get better and better and better as we go along, so I'm not too concerned early on about the satisfaction. As we increase our heroism, that'll change. Cheng Pu, I don't know that we have a lot that we can do with him. He's also an expertise legendary person. Yeah, so we're not going to touch anything there, and that handles authority, but his mount, maybe with one of these horses we can improve his mount. Currently we're looking at 60 speed, 1.5 mass, and it does add his expertise. This one, 58 speed, 2k mass, here's my upgrade. Cheng Pu, you are gonna get this fine steed here, the Gray Stallion. Even though initially you're probably going to be an ancillary and working in the in construction, helping out my city building, eventually you may move to a generalship. So we're going to supply that with you. Lady Wu, now her strength, while not legendary, is authority. So by giving her the clay pig, we can increase our authority a little bit, and a bonus with the satisfaction. And that about rounds out most of what we're able to give out. I'm not sure about her horse. Let's see. Currently at 60 speed, 1.5 mass. This has better mass and gives expertise, which doesn't be nice if it was an authoritative horse. But we'll upgrade her right now anyway, because it does give her a chance, increase her charge bonus and her chance of evading capture post-battle, and that's better than the original one. Okay, I think our characters are set, and it's about time, now the evening has fallen. We are going to look at battle in this total war. Okay, we definitely outnumber, deploying 1922 troops versus the 961. So I predict with my superior forces we should get a decisive victory. So let's see if I can handle that.
故知兵之将，民之司命，国家安危之主矣。诸位江东健儿，天下之命，尽在我等掌握。我等但需砥砺前行，如无忠勇荣耀，天下岂知太平？
And a rousing speech by Sun Jian. Let's see what the battle screen brings us. Pretty open battlefield, which would be nice for the first battle. I think what I will change in my army setup is we'll bring the arrows forward, and we'll go from there. Now the one thing that's kind of cool in the romance mode is our individual generals have their own characters on the map, and they're quite powerful. Unlike these, they can destroy a whole unit one-on-one potentially if it's the right kind of unit, and they also have the ability to duel. And I'm going to move forward with the expectation of looking to duel our opponent over here and see how it goes. We're gonna give Huang Gai his first test of the game.
步兵在此。
Let's start the battle. We'll just generally move everybody forward to get it started. Take a look at our characters on the battlefield. Sun Jian. Coming down the hill towards us. Kind of a cool colored horse he has. And Hung Guai, just Mr. Nonchalant, knowing he's going into a duel. In fact, knowing this, let's run him forward. Right now he's not in range to duel. You can see the limit of duel range here. But pretty soon it'll happen. I'll be able to. In fact, here's the duel. Let's move in close and see how it starts. And we knocked him off his horse. I've had practices where I've been knocked off before, so it's nice to get the early jump. He has a special Binding Fury, which he just used as his special ability. Right there is the Binding Fury mood that he gets. So while we're watching him duel, let's get our army positioned.
剑手听命，听命。
And we'll bring our archers up a bit. Let's
大
run
步
them
向
up
前，赶快，
so we can start taking some pot shots at the enemy.
做好准备，做好准备。
And just make sure our support isn't too far back.
可悲的家伙，你根本
Let's
不配
bring
活着
Sun。Jian up for some moral support on this duel. We got a nice jump on the duel. We definitely have a early lead in the strength bar. Let's see, where are the archers up there yet? Let's get them going.
剑准备，
Peppering some arrows down while we watch the ending of the duel. Now they're defensive mode, and usually defensive armies don't do a lot of attacking, so they're kind of standing there getting peppered by the arrows. Let's do a finishing move here, see if we can finish him off. Binding Fury. Wow. He's not quite dead, but he's close to it. Let's finish him off, finish him off. There we go. Crack. Ooh. Gruesome ending to that battle. Now let's get our
剑准备，
archers in mind. They're moving up their archers now. So we'll get ours to change their targets too.
万箭齐发，
We're getting peppered. Let's send our generals in to disrupt their archers. They're already... See, the general who died in the duel lowered their morale tremendously, and so that's why you're seeing them run and panic so quickly. They took a tremendous morale hit by defeating their general, and I have no need to run down for this small of an army to try to gain extra deaths or experience for my characters. We'll just end it here. So we ended up with a decisive victory, thank goodness. You always want to start out nice on your first Let's Play and not make a fool of yourself. So even though it wasn't the most difficult of battles, we came through.
敌军已被击败，
And we gained some gold. As you can see, we lost 59 men versus their 333 lost. And replenishment wise, since we didn't lose too much, and our military supplies are probably okay for the moment. I'm going to take the income because a few extra coin never hurts early in the game.
走吧，回去报信去吧，向前进军。
So mission success. We got our temporary taste of victory for a few measly little turns, but we'll take it. And we have our newest mission now. Sun Jian rides home, but threats persist. The Southlands must be secured, and to that end, the nearby region must be brought under your control. Yet at the same time, be wary of Liu Biao nearby. In this time of strife, any sign of weakness could be pounced upon by waiting warlords. So, we're tasked with capturing Zhangling, very nearby, and it'll gain us support of the people with some extra public order and faction support for 3 turns. And with that glorious victory, also, if you want to call that a glorious victory for a tiny little battle, the victory is the first of many. I will prove my worth as everyone else falters. The coalition cannot stop the chaos, but I will show them that I can. So I got 1750 experience for Sun Jian out of that battle. So let's just ride on through and see if we can, in the very first turn, complete our mission. So on this map view of this particular battle, what's just shown on a town attack, when I see this map, is there's towers posted usually at the ends of these different street junction areas around the town, and they can decimate units that aren't fully mustered, and they can heavily damage those units that are even full in the approach to the gates. So city defenses can be a challenge if you aren't properly prepared. We're just going to see though on this one, when there's a general in the city, you have the option to demand his surrender, and since we have superior forces, we just may get lucky on this one. And we do. So we're just going to occupy the town since we need to take it over, and because of that, our mission is a success. So we now have gained the support from the people for yet another 3 measly turns on this one too. And our newest mission now is Sun Jian builds a future in the south. Your homeland in the Southlands must prosper, my lord. Your settlements have room to grow, so you should nurture that growth by developing the trade and commercial infrastructure around the rivers, and watch as our prosperity grows. So we need to upgrade a building in Changsha, which is our home territory, and will be rewarded for 3 turns with some cheaper construction costs and construction time. And once again, by establishing order and capturing the town, we have gained some more experience for Sun Jian. 1750 increase again. So in the first turn, when we look at our army here, we can't recruit this very first turn. So I think what we'll do is let's kind of zoom out a little bit, get an overall feel of where we are on the map. And we have over here Liu Biao, who I've been warned to keep my eye on. Up north of him we have Yuan Shu, who, depending on how this game goes, could become a friend or a foe. So we'll find out, but we'll move down to Sun Jian down here, our home territory, and see if we have anything we can build to work towards that next mission of ours. We are able to upgrade our town from a town to a large town, and I don't think there's any food hits on that till we get up to city level, so that's a safe move. I think also, just because it's quick and easy, and I will want it eventually anyway, this is our unique building, the Mercenary Outpost. It's not too pricey. It's going to leave some money left over for me to recruit next turn, so we're going to go ahead and construct the military outpost. And that is enough to complete our first turn, I think. We'll eventually go over all these other icons around the map here as we need to use them as they become relevant for the game. And we're going to move from our harvest to autumn, and we'll see how the colors on the map change. It's a pretty cool map as it changes with the seasons. So let's end the turn. As you can see on the bar, we got lots of room to grow this army. And it's a beautiful fall season here in Jiangling. So mission success. We constructed our building in Changsha, and our economy grows for 3 turns. Our construction costs and construction time are lowered for the next 3 turns. And so now our newest mission, Sun Jian recalls warriors to his side. The time has come at last, my lord. You have grown your territory and secured our borders. Now is the moment to seize your destiny. Muster more troops, bolster your forces, and then ride to war against those who would oppose your designs. And so we currently have a total of 10 units. We only have to increase that to 12, easy peasy. And what that'll do for us is we'll gain 3 turns worth of bonus experience and faction-wide replenishment. We also have some character developments that happened after this turn. And up here in our court, we can take a look at who's wandering through our area that we have the ability to hire if we so desire. And kind of gives you an idea to look through. This is someone who used to be with Gaogan. And he's determined, he's direct, he's cunning, not bad. And we have Shi Yi. He's been with Kong Rong, and we have someone from the Han Empire who we are currently at war with. So past loyalties sometimes can be an indication that they're a spy if you hire them, but not always. So it's just always something to be aware of. Right now I'm not interested in these low-level characters and needing to add them. I still have some flexibility within my own. So we've taken a look at them, and then we did build that merchant guard post. So let's take a look at recruiting for our army towards that next mission. So we'll hit the recruit button. So we're recovering from our battle. Only 1 turn replenishment because we really didn't lose that many. So we're practically at full strength with what we started with. But I am thinking I have a couple choices. I could add Lu Su, who is one of my nobles, but he's maybe not harmonious to put him in the same army with Sun Jian. Lady Wu, though, I just like the idea. Let's recruit the wife into the own army and fight side by side. There's something kind of fun about that. I don't know why, but it appeals to me, and that's what we're gonna do. Now we'll fill her out a little bit. Since my next plan is to go against Badong with the force I'm getting, I'm gonna need some ground troops to push through because that little lumber yard isn't always the easiest. So we'll get some ground forces there, and we will recruit some ground forces here. Some spearmen in case we run into cavalry. And that'll about do it for this turn as far as the recruiting. And I've recruited the minimum to accomplish my mission too. So we'll get that reward. Now, if I stay in Jiangling, I get double recruitment for those that I just mustered, and that's tantalizing. But I also know in the early game, I sometimes need to move quick before certain things start happening in my little practice playthroughs. So I think I'm going to move out now. It'll mean that I only get minor replenishment. If I move out of the city into my own territory, I'll still get replenished, just not at the great mustering rate of where they were recruited from. And then if I move into enemy territory, I will get no reinforcements to these depleted armies. But I think we're just going to be aggressive and move town towards Badong. See if we can find some badonkadonk in that town of Badong. And we'll hang out there for this turn. In fact, I think you've got a little bit of a nice introduction to the game, and for a first episode, we're probably at a good stopping point. I'm thinking next turn we'll have the Battle of Badong that may be taking place, barring some other, who knows what may happen as we take our next turn. Thank you for watching the video. If you've made it this far, for those I sent it to, Keith, Trevor, Jeffrey, Tom, please do me a favor, because I'm going to start this as a Let's Play for various strategy games I like, and I'd like to build my channel piece by piece by piece. And since y'all are friends and family, if you could just hit the subscribe button and put a little nod for a thumbs up that you like the video, I'd appreciate that. Wonderful little start to this channel. And hope y'all are doing wonderful where you are. I'm signing off from wet and muggy Western Kentucky. We'll see y'all soon.